Hello and welcome to another video talking all about that most lovely of mods, Imperator in Invictus. The attempt by many mod developers to come together and build something greater than the sum of its parts by creating a mod pack that people can download to increase the enjoyment of the Imperator Rome experience. Today we're looking at the 19th Dev Diary, looking at the Cushite map extension, a bit of an AI rework and some new art. The AI rework is something that is very interesting. Multiple Paradox games have had AI rework mods in the past, Glavius being a prime example, who completely reworked the AI of Stellaris, did a fantastic job on that. Even Arumba did a smarter AI mod for EU4, again massively increasing the skill level of the AI on, for example, what buildings to build and where to build them. It'd be interesting to see what has occurred in Imperator Invictus and what we will get with that. But let's start from the top, shall we? Salvete! Today we'll be talking about some new art, a map rework to the Cushite lands, a rework of the AI, as well as a bit of extra flavour for Ptolemaic Egypt. First, I'm going to turn things over to Nerdman3000, who will be discussing some of the art in the upcoming update. So, you might remember Nerdman3000 from some of the earlier dev diaries for the mod. He's one of the artists for Imperator Invictus, and today one thing they'd like to focus on, something that hasn't been touched on for a while. It's art. As you may know, Imperator Invictus features various new character backgrounds throughout the world, such as in Rome, Alexandria, Memphis, Babylon, etc. For the upcoming update, we'll be confirming that we'll be adding new additional character backgrounds to the game for places like Carthage, India, and Stonehenge. The remaining 7 wonders of the world, like the Colossus of Rhodes, Mausoleum at Halicarnassus, and the Temple of Artemis, will also be getting character backgrounds in order to finally complete that set. So, 2 examples of the new character backgrounds. We have the Temple of Artemis in Ephesus, and also a generic city background for northern India. Very nice indeed. Beyond simply adding new character backgrounds, of course, we're considering adding new loading screens for the mod. Felt it was important to give the mod its own unique distinction from vanilla, if a minor one, such as its own unique loading screens. A few of these are already been created, you can see one of them below. The black marble with gold kind of feathering, the whatever that's called, I have no idea. And I'm pretty sure that's Caesar. So yeah, very nice, lovely. And that'd be the background and for the main menu. This, of course, leaves the question of what then will be the fate of the old loading screens from Vanilla Imperator. Well, truthfully, we realize that much of the art is just too good to throw away. Yeah, I agree. I love the art pieces in Imperator, for sure. So we're thinking of potentially reusing and recycling them as event window art for the mod. An example of this below. Yeah, so this was one of the loading screens. You know, it's a triumph, basically, going through the Pomerium here, through the gate, with the entire army. Lovely stuff. There was a case, I'm pretty sure it was it Ptolemy, who came back and wanted to go through the Pomerium, through these arches with elephants, but was unable to fit through. Quite embarrassing, not going to lie. But yeah, yeah, that's that. It's a triumph. So yeah, the vanilla loading screen will now serve as the event window art for triumphs. Aside from reusing vanilla loading screens as background art, there are currently plans to include a few original new event art pieces as well, which may be revealed eventually. Don't want to show it now, however, as it relates to something by another team member that's currently working on it's yet to be revealed. Anyway, back to Snowlet. It's worth noting that GMB360, another one of the modders, has worked heavily to improve the performance of the character backgrounds, and most of the lag that happens when you open it should be gone. That is lovely to see, yeah. It was quite laggy because these are all very high definition images, and when you open your character window, the game is trying to load a lot of individual images at the same time, and especially on weaker PCs, it was pretty horrendous. Even on my own, which it's a relatively decent PC, it was noticeable for sure. So it's good that this has been reworked to improve the performance. That's fantastic. Also doing the best to reduce the RAM usage, but now onto it first for Invictus, a physical map extension for which will be handed over to Shocky27. So, his first work on Invictus and the first provincial editions for Egypt and the Kush area. There's far more going on in this area than meets the eye with the current vanilla map, so a number of areas have been added to reflect the important role that semi-nomadic tribes, wadis, and the numerous gold and mineral sources played during this time period. So here we have Kush, Blemia, Alut, and Moya. I think these two are new. I don't recall seeing these before. Boras as well, I believe, is new. Blemia has been there for a while, but I don't believe it was ever that large. Although I may just be completely wrong there. Though I'm fairly sure this corridor here has been added, right? I'm pretty sure that's new. I don't recall that being there before. So yeah, new map additions. Interesting, very interesting. Okay. The King's Road, the Wadi Abu Dom, sure. First, he will show the King's Road, which was speculated to have run through the Wadi Abu Dom across the Bayuda between Napata and Meroe. Is that this? Sure. What is that? While in the 4th century BC, Meroe was the political capital, Napata still held immense religious importance to the nation, and new kings had to make the journey along the King's Road from Meroe to Napata to receive the crown from Amun in the Temple of Amun at Jebel Barkal, one of, if not the most holy place in the Kingdom of Kush. While the King's Road in the Wadi Abu Dom generally was sparsely populated by semi-nomadic tribes outside of the sizable community at Kuwait, the area was an important source for metals, animal skins, and wild game for the Cushite kingdom, and served as the shortest route between Meroe and Napata. So where is Napata here? I don't see well, there's Meroe. I'm expecting like Napata to be somewhere over here. No, oh, there. Okay. So I guess this here is the King's Road. Instead of going around, you're going, straight up. Okay. Wadi Hudi and Wadi Alaki. Next we have the Wadi Hudi and Wadi Alaki areas. A trail connected the rich mineral and metal sources of the Hudi area with the Ptolemaic fortress at Abrak and the known gold mines at Ileha. Sure. Which were active during this period. Just below this area sits the famous gold sources in the Wadi Alaki. It was a famous gold mining area since the Egyptian dynastic period. It fell into disuse until the Ptolemies and Romans brought new techniques for extraction. Ptolemy II Philadelphus, a character at the start of the game, son of Ptolemy Soter, launched an expedition against the Nubians and Blemias in 265 BC to conquer portions of Lower Nubia and the gold sources of the Wadi Alaki. They would go on to found the gold-producing town of Berenica Panchirisos, the southernmost known Ptolemaic settlement in the eastern desert, away from the coast. The Blemias were a constant source of trouble from mining operations for the Ptolemies as well as the Romans, and they would eventually come to occupy portions of the Nile in Lower Nubia in the 5th century AD. So, that is, I believe, I believe that's here. I think that's the new part. I'm pretty sure this here existed, but this here is new. Or maybe both of them are new. That could also be the case. I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, but some new areas here. I'd have to open the game and have like a direct comparison. But there's Berenica Pancreasa, or Pan whatever the hell it was called. Pan something. Where is it? Berenica Pan something or other. Whatever. But there's that. And there's Hudi. So yeah, this whole area I think is new and added. Okay, cool. The area in and to the immediate east of the Wadi Gabgaba was famed since pharaonic times as a source of gold. While during the Kerman Kush and Napatan Kush period, this area appears to have been under more direct control of the Cushites. During the Meroitic period, it appears the Blemian peoples of this region regained some autonomy. The Blemias traded gold, metals, and animal furs to Meroitic Kush and Ptolemaic and Roman Egypt. All right, it'd be nice if just a little bit of a heads up to the mod team or whoever is taking these images. Just click on the province so it's got that little gold outline when you want to like show something off. Makes my job a hell of a lot easier. I can't tell from this image what Wadi Gab Gaba is, because there is multiple places that is new. I'm fairly sure it's this. There's Gab Gaba there. So I'm fairly sure it's from like Dayob to BR. But it would be nice if it was also highlighted. Just a little bit of a suggestion for the future there. We have the Wadi Mukaddam. It's thought to be an old channel of the Nile River during the Neolithic wet period. During the post-Kerman period, Napatan period, and most especially the Meroitic period, the Wadi Mukaddam saw a number of settlements, well sites, burials, and scattered pottery finds along the entire length of the Wadi that attest to its importance of this route throughout the first millennium BC, especially the second half. Archaeology of the past 20 years has highlighted important settlements such as Merat and the Hosh area as clearly Meroitic. Well, Merat is there and Hosh is there. So, are we looking at, like, just this whole area in the middle here? Old channel of the Nile River. I assume we're not talking about this. Old channel, well, I mean, maybe we're talking about this here. I mean, it's definitely looking there, or maybe it's Mukaddam there. Ah, there's Mukaddam. So yeah, it's probably this here. Again, some images would be very, very nice. Very nice indeed. Also, I've just noticed that the way that I've laid out my the image here, just down here, alright, down here, just under where I'm highlighting, I've just had bum just there permanently, which is highly amusing. But yeah, bum right here as well. Anyway, with that out of the way, let's move on. We have the Gezira Plain. It was home to the well-known Jebel Moya site and its associated cultural sites such as Rabak, Amara, Singa, and the Sennar area. These were agro-pastoralist people, unlike the Meroitic people to the north. The large site of Jebel Moya houses thousands of burials from the first millennium BC and older, but the occupation at Jebel Moya itself seems to end with the rise of classic Meroitic civilization around the turn of the millennium, while nearby sites such as Amara, Singa, and Sennar began to show intrusions of Meroitic pottery and influence from the Meroitic Cushites. The Jebel Moya peoples were most certainly Nilo-Saharan language family speakers like their northern neighbours, but from probably still quite distant culturally and linguistically from the people of Meroe and Alut. Right, where is this plain then? That's here. Okay, so this one's fairly nicely, easily, seen. It's a new country. But yeah, that's that one there, and that is a very well placed fortress. Every single province, or every single territory bar one is covered by this. And it would be the perfect fortress if you had the map continued on south, but yeah, it's as it stands, it's actually kind of, I mean, you'd want one in Bum. You'd want a Bum fortress and maybe like an Araba fortress. I don't know. I'm thinking tactically here. But yeah, nice stuff. And finally, we have Diminutive, a mod dev that has worked on Kush. Alongside the map changes that have been made to the Nubian region, he's also reworked the cultures in the region. In the vanilla, the Meroitic culture has about 600 pops at game start, which is ridiculously high. So at the beginning of the game, Kush can simply ignore cultural assimilation altogether because everything they conquer initially would be their primary culture. This is true. Meroitic is colossal. You almost always want to accept Meroitic if you're playing anywhere in the region. It's just huge. So what has changed instead is it's been split into Kerman and Meroitic. And I think this is a new culture group as well. I think this used to be Meroitic, potentially. I'm unsure about that. So to combat this issue, the Nubian culture group has been split in two, with Kerman in the north and Meroitic in the south. Additionally, a new culture group, Nilotic, has been made to represent the vast ethno-linguistic differences between Nubian people and their southern neighbours down the Nile. Lastly, the Ptolemaic culture has been moved into the Axumite culture group. In vanilla, it's in the Nubian group, although there are vast cultural and linguistic differences between the two peoples. Other general changes that have been made to the region is new heritages for Boras, Alut, Moya, and Blemia. Meroitic culture will now rename Hellenized Egyptian provinces like Bohairic culture, and added multiple Kemetic flavor events. One of the new flavor events is there for the Kemetics. The Curse of Mart. Mart? Matt. Lovely. Nice flag as well. Yeah. Oh, you wonder what it could be. Well, who knows. So, back to Snowlet. One additional thing that they've done, which wanted to mention for today's Dev Diary, is some flavour for Ptolemaic Egypt. In this case, we made a small change to how the Laggid Dynasty Pharaoh's naming convention works. In vanilla, when a Laggid Dynasty character becomes Pharaoh, if they're male, they'll gain the name Ptolemy, and if they're female, they'll gain the name Cleopatra. This is technically still the case in the mod, however, for a female Laggid ruler, there's now a small percent chance that they will instead be named either Arsinoe or Berenica. We're also experimenting with further special succession rules relating to naming convention, relating to cases where a spouse of the Laggid Dynasty Pharaoh is also of the Laggid Dynasty, but for now we can offer no assurances it'll happen. Small bit of flavour for Ptolemaic Egypt overall, but it's something we wanted to include with the mod. It's always nice. Finally, we have a lot of AI improvements adapted with permission based on the work of the great Glavius AI mod. Lovely. Fantastic. Like I said, Glavius did fantastic work on Stellaris, to the point where I think a lot of his changes were implemented into the base game. So it will be lovely to see what he has done for Invictus, and obviously for his own mod as well. It's not compatible with Invictus anymore, nor has it ever been. That's the general AI mod. But parts of it has been implemented. So the AI will save less money during peacetime, invest in it instead, save slightly less money from military spending, more likely to build buildings when at peace, stop conquering if the AA is too high, which is almost never, and provinces too disloyal, build buildings optimally like a player would, more foundries, theatres and provinces that need converting, always prioritize religious conversion, etc. Be less extreme in prioritizing holy sites, more intelligently choose deities if they're of the wrong religion, only integrate cultures if they have 75 pops and 12.5% of the total pops, much more intelligently choose its economic policies, like prioritizing exports when not a city-state, for example. Yeah, I mean, this would be a terrible thing to do if you are a city-state. Yeah, definitely not the one you want. Anyway, choose its government policies much more intelligently, like prioritizing religious conversion, then assimilation, not oppression it when it causes provinces to rebel, etc. It will prioritize certain key innovations based on dynamic factors like nation size, much more intelligently use the cultural decisions, and more intelligently choose certain diplomatic stances. Lovely stuff. Here, this one I'm very interested in. Choosing its government policies much more intelligently. I wonder if that is also going to apply to the player. Say, for instance, when a governor dies and you get in and you just replace him, or if you're just replacing someone in general, will this more intelligent choice apply there as well? Because my preferred way of handling replacement governors is that it would keep what the previous governor had, but I'm not sure if that's possible. So if it chooses more intelligently the governor policies, it's going to save the player an awful lot of political influence, and that is something I'm very much in favor of. So that's all for the Dev Diary. The story contest, which I mentioned in the previous Dev Diary video that I had incorrectly assumed had ended, is still going on, and it will run until November. So if we have a click on here, we'll just have a quick read of it. There is a contest. They've hit 10,000 subs on the mod in 2 months. It's the second most popular mod in the Imperator Workshop. So there is going to be a story or AAR competition. So submit the stories or after action reports of your campaigns with Invictus. I will put this link in the description below. They'll be reading all the submissions and selecting 3 top contestants, which will get access to the dev chats, probably I think in the Discord. The community will vote for who is the winner, and the winner will be, as a reward, ask us to add any reasonable suggestion in the Invictus mod. So yeah, that's what you need to do. What an AAR is basically you play the game, maybe take some screenshots as you're doing it, and then make a story about it. Basically a let's play in text form. There are some incredibly interesting AARs that I've read, specifically for Victoria 2, to be honest. But AARs are something that's... They used to be more popular than they are now, but definitely I think they should make a return as well. They're always quite interesting when you get a good one. And yeah, if we get some stories for the Invictus mod, that would be fantastic. Things like just chronicling the path that your country is taking as you, as say, I don't know, the Bosporan Kingdom conquers the Pontus Euxinus, and you tell the story of your king or kings as they go about doing that, and tell the stories of your great battles against the Antagonids, etc. Stuff like that will be fantastic, and you can submit it here, and that will run until mid-November. And yeah, that's you've got over a month left to do that, so you should do that. This link will be in the description. And yeah, that's it. That's all I've got for you for today. That's it. So thank you all very much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed this Dev Diary video talking about Kush and all that. Yeah, thanks all for watching. Bye-bye.